All right, even during the break, the men's conference had already kicked off. So there was a bit of an argument of who exactly is a father. Not all of them are fathers, but we were all agreed all of them are sons. What did they see growing up? What is the role of a father according to them? And that is exactly what we are asking you as well. 22422 is the SMS line. You can tweet at Citizen TV Kenya, Trevor Mbija, at Wega Mora. The hashtag is Daybreak. We kick it off right now. We have a question for you, by the way. Let's bring that up on your screen right now so that you see whether there's a father's manual. Is there a father's manual?
That talks about the do's, the don'ts, the right way, and how do you know that you've been a good father at the end of the day?
Exactly. And you can describe it as well, what you think is a good father. We'll sample some of your views during this broadcast. But let's get straight into it. And Pastor Ken even has a trophy for this.
Okay, let's start
with that. What is that about?
Allow me this morning to unveil to you the world's best dad.
All right.
I can donate the honors. But friends,
what gives you the confidence to hold that trophy on national TV and proclaim yourself the world's best dad?
The source gives me the confidence, where it came from. Someone did to me fatherhood, not my biological dad. And I purposed at the age of 23 that I would like, by the time I turn 40, to do the same to somebody, to reproduce the same value of loving on young people. And I picked on children from single families, single parent homes. I visited schools for many years on visiting days when it had not been scrapped off. So I visited, and the kids who were never visited by their parents on the visiting days, I put together the little I had, and we had time together with them, just ate together and made family. And out of that, a ministry was birthed, preserving human dignity. Recently, I'm a June baby, and when on my birthday, the kids I've worked with, mentored, over the years, bought this as a gift to me, as a world's best dad. Most of them, some of them never saw a dad.
So a father doesn't have to be biological.
Exactly. Someone did to me, so I reproduced the same. So today I unveil to you the world's best dad. The little things we do. I cried over this, and I treasure. Of all the gifts I've received, many awards, this is one I really treasure.
Before we get to the next speaker, one characteristic of a good dad.
A good father.
A promise keeper.
Okay.
So you keep your word.
Keep your word.
See it in the bike and then you don't buy it.
Exactly. Okay, let's hear it. Smiling.
I mean, nothing prepares you to be a parent. Nothing in this world prepares you to be a father. But at the same time, fatherhood or parenthood is a source of inspiration, of happiness, of pride. I mean, I have daughters and sons, and nothing gives me joy than seeing them every morning and every evening. And you have to prepare your kids to be the person you want to be. I mean, if you walked into your door in the evening after work, who are you? Are you that monster who starts screaming and shouting at your wife? What will your daughter think of you? When you come into the house and you carry a bag with you in the evening and you knock on that door, you want your kids to run into you with their arms open. That's the dad I am. And that's what the parent that my children, I want them to be.
Is that the fatherhood you saw?
That's the fatherhood that I want to be installed in my kids.
So then it means you can't separate the two, because you've brought up a very interesting aspect whereby I deal with my wife in a different phase, and then all of a sudden you're happy with the children. It has to be a holistic approach.
It has to be a holistic approach. And it has, of course, there will be disagreements in a family, but do it discreetly.
Someone is saying we should call your wife on phone and
to verify this
fact. Honestly, it gives you joy. It gives you happiness, and
it gives you joy,
and it gives you joy and happiness and pride. I mean, you have to find time for your kids to take them out to one of these malls, to one of these children's places. So. I mean, it's easier to be a good parent than a bad parent. Because when you knock on that door, you want people to be happy, from your wife to your kids.
Okay.
You want people to jump up and down with joy.
So one characteristic
and then carry something with you. I always carry something with me in the evening, even if it's a bag, labeled high kids, something like that, Okay. But you have to have something with you when you're going home.
So one characteristic of a good dad is you gift. You show love.
Love your kids.
Through either a gift or a day out or something.
I have a daughter. And my daughter through me will see what men are like, right?
Okay.
So I want to instill that ideology that men are actually good people through my actions and examples.
Okay. Do we do a zigzag format, Trevor, where we get up there, and then down here?
Down,
yeah. Okay, let's hear.
So one characteristic you said is gifting.
Gifting and
either day outs or things like that. He said something more, and I want you to weigh in on that, even as you tell us a little bit about your family setup. He said it's easier to be a good dad than a bad dad. But if it's that easy, then what are the numbers that we are seeing out there? You know, there's an organization called Transform Kenya, run by Simon Bevy, who we had invited, but he couldn't come. They carried out a survey on 3,000 people, and 20% said they had a good father. Only
20%.
20%. So is it really that easy to be a good dad?
I think, now, do you want me to answer from my career perspective as a Christian, you know, speaking from a pastor's life?
All around, past, present.
Be real.
Yeah.
Be real. Just put the mic closer to your mouth if you don't mind. Yeah.
Let me say, I do agree to some extent with what my brother has said. But then at the bottom, for me, what I've also come to learn is we all have a degree of evil in us. You get, and sometimes that tends to take the best out of our lives. And sometimes, normally what happens, and let me also concur with what Pastor Simon Bevy and Transform Kenya have come up with. You know, as we've been talking with young people more and more in the high schools, you know, we have come to realize actually that there's a serious father crisis in our country today. You know, the other day we were having conversations with some girls, I won't mention from which school, and you know, the level of abuse that's coming from the dads to the daughters is ridiculous. You know, rather than us guys being in a place where we are providing or gifting, you know, I'm looking at it from a space of protection. You know, that I want my kids to know that, Yani, my dad will be there to protect me. You know, my dad is there to be able to show love on me. You know, that even as Ken is holding this trophy that he's showing us over here, the world's best dad, my kids told me the same thing, by the way. You know, asante sana. You know, basically what I want to say is there is a huge challenge for us as men.
Okay.
You know, because young people out there, you know, what they're saying is dads are not present. We are not present. And we can come and give them gifts and all those kinds of things. I'm not contradicting what you're saying. But I'm saying that the best gift we can be able to give our kids is quality time. Nothing can replace that. You know, and I love spending time with my kids. And I'm sure they're watching, so let me say a big goes up to them. You know, so I love spending time with my kids. And so maybe one of the things I'd like to encourage the dads who are out there is, as much as we're going to work and we're working hard, you know, leaving the house at 6 o'clock in the morning and probably coming back at 9 p.m.
Like today, I don't know what time you left your house to be here.
I saw them in the morning, though.
My
kids wake up early, man. They wake up really early. You know, I want to say, let's always make sure that we make time to spend quality time with our kids. Not just 5 minutes, but make sure that it's quality time.
So for you, it's quality time.
Yeah.
Quality time. Let's move the mic down, then we'll come back up again.
Then we'll go back to Tom.
Okay. So I feel this question.
You can start by declaring your status.
Oh, I am not a father. At least not that I'm aware of. So
Wow.
It's very true. But I feel like the problem is a bit more complex than good father or bad father.
Okay.
Right? Let me explain it. One, there are several elements, including understanding history to understand fatherhood, right? I come from Nyeri, right? Yeah. Nyeri Central Province, right? When you look at the fathers there and a lot of situations you think you see there, they look bad straight up, you know, there's a lot of alcohol problems and this and that. But if you go back, there's a lot of unaddressed trauma, right? There's unaddressed trauma going back to colonialism, right? There has been a lot of state violence, both physically, economically, and socially against men, and this has, in many ways, structured and impacted fatherhood more than men on their own would. Right? And so when you say good father and bad father, what does that even mean? Right?
It's a good
because
question.
My dad worked far from us for a very long time to be able to provide, right? My dad was, if you talk about presence, physically he wasn't present, but he wasn't working in Somalia because he enjoyed it, right? He was working in Somalia because the lack of economic opportunities that existed in Kenya, right? My dad wasn't particularly affectionate in many senses, right? I knew he loved me, but I knew he loved me in different ways. So again, the scale that we are using to measure good versus bad, again, many of these things, if you are using a different scale than your father would have for many of these situations. So I don't think it's a crisis per se. I actually think things are getting better. right? We are more aware of our emotions. We are more aware of emotional vulnerabilities. We are more aware of trauma and history, and we are more aware of mental health problems, right? We are getting better. The thing is that there are certain elements that do need to improve about fatherhood, but there's nothing inherently faulty about fatherhood.
So one characteristic of a good father.
Even though you've said it's hard to define what...
Emotionally aware.
Wow.
Emotional
That's
awareness.
powerful.
Yes.
That's powerful. Okay, Tom, you spent long nights in studios across different stations, you know. How did that challenge your aspect of the balance between fatherhood and responsibility to provide?
The most senior father here.
The most senior father here.
Oh, really?
Is he?
What's the parameter to measure that?
When you look back, what would you tell 20-year-old Tom Boyer about fatherhood?
Wow. Look, there's a statistic you gave out there. 20%?
Only 20% said they had a good father. The rest have either never met their fathers or their father was not present in their lives. They would occasionally see their dad.
Okay, there you go. So I fit in the 80%. And not for a very good reason. Because I lost my father when I was still a very young guy. So that meant that my mother had to play the role of a father. Okay? All right? So the absence of a father figure sometimes affects us later on in life. Okay? So when I came of age and went into the space of marriage, you know, quietly your partner whispers to you that they can see the footprints of your mother in you. Okay? And their hope was to get a man in you. Okay, so those conflicts become difficult. So what happens is you
touched these men down here.
Ikua, I can see Ikua. Ikua is fired up. Yeah. But the point I'm making is this.
Yes.
Later on, the lessons that I got became very useful because I also found myself in a situation where I was a father who was mothering his kids for very many years. Okay, so that balance, that ability, and I saw in today's paper there was a judge who pronounced himself for the matter.
Yeah,
that the time has come now.
Justice
for
John Ngugi.
Exactly. We can do some of these things. I think it just depends on how we were wired. And somebody earlier on talked about the science of parenting. I don't think it's there. Sometimes it's just getting in and falling with the fall, rising with the wave, and learning on the job. Okay. But the key and most powerful emotion there is love. If you have love, there's a way love just configures you. All right? Okay.
And by doing some of these things, you mean changing diapers?
Changing diapers.
Going for Parents' Day.
Chauffeuring them to school.
Having those awkward conversations.
On the days, then the parents' days, okay? But playing the role of a mother, but as a father. Okay?
Powerful.
All right? And these things are doable. I mean, last night I watched a story of, and it ran on your station, a 15-year-old boy who took his life.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are the things that now we need to open up.
And
what are the underlying
Even
issues?
the parents said they could not tell.
Even the father. And I could see the sadness on the father's face, a young parent, but he couldn't understand. And if you looked at the guy looked okay. All right? So there's a way, I think the best school is the school I call the school of life. Yeah, there's no science, there's no art. Yeah, with the father. Okay. Wow. Right.
So what is one characteristic? I'm coming up with a manual here.
Yeah,
the concern has been there's no manual, so we'll
just develop your visibility index on the home front. Be there. Let them see you.
That's such a technical term. Visibility index on the home front.
Baba,
I'll just say be present. I'll just say be present.
Yeah. Good. Just be there for them.
Because
if they see you, there's this sense of they feel safe.
There's an ownership.
That they feel
this
safe.
Is my dad.
Yeah. This
so
is my
being
dad.
present does not necessarily mean spending quality time.
No,
I could come back home every evening, but I'm not saying anything. I'm just there, watching news, watching news, flipping through.
You're not doing anything else.
I mean, look.
We'll come to you to clarify.
Yeah, exactly. I think the presence when you're there and there's a team and you're leading it, and they're throwing questions at you, isn't that an opportunity just to share with them how to navigate life? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So your presence is useful to them.
Okay.
Okay. Like your son would want to find out, so daddy, how does it go? When you strike 18 and you want to go out there, what are the do's, what are the don'ts?
Okay.
You can whisper that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You bring in Georgie.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm hearing we need to take a break,
Okay.
quick commercial break, and we have one other gentleman we'll be introducing to this panel. He's in the political field. Be interested to see how he balances fatherhood and politics, which is a full-time job.
Meanwhile, my manual is at number 5.
What do we have
still
so far?
coming in? Promise
What
Keeper.
did you
is the
write for
first
me
one.
there?
Those are alarms going on because that's the time.
What did you write for me
Tom?
there? I think it's
Be
important.
present.
To be present.
Be present.
Yeah, and probably later on, because I saw him carrying the world's best dad.
Trophy.
Yeah.
I think for me, I probably need world best dad and mom. Okay. So,
There's best dad and mom.
So you're playing both roles.
Okay, wow.
It's very powerful.
Take us to the break?
Yeah, we're taking a short break here, but the manual so far: number 1, promise keeper; number 2, gifting; number 3, quality time; number 4, emotional awareness; and number 5, be present. So we are coming to talk about the emotional presence and also being present physically. Does it mean the same thing? Quality time and being present. We're back in just a bit. We'd like to know what you think as well. 22422 is the SMS line. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We'll definitely see it at Citizen TV Kenya. Trevor Mbija, Tuwaiga Moura. We're back in just a few seconds, actually. A minute or so.